Hey boys and girls, Square One Art is our next project. We will create artwork that is a square rather than a rectangle. I'll mail those artworks away, and later we'll have the option to order products with your image on the product. Here is a coaster for keeping your table protected. There are stickers. There's tiles. You could order a mouse pad with your artwork on it, and there are a lot more products available to order. Today, let's focus on creating something wonderful that can be reproduced by Square One Art for a fundraiser. The fundraiser will allow us to buy more and better art materials. This is a landscape artwork that we are planning to create. We'll be using our line knowledge to draw a foreground and a middle ground and a background using all these different lines that we have practiced. The landscape is going to include some lines that repeat that will create a pattern, and we'll draw it first with a black crayon, paint it in using some liquid tempera paint, and then we'll add more patterns using construction paper crayons. So the first thing I want to think about with my landscape artwork is the horizon line, where the sun goes to sleep at night. And I want that up high on my paper because I would like to add a lot of details on the land part. So I'm going to make a line that maybe has a hill on it. I can drive my crayon both directions. And up here we might show the sun, or we might draw a house or a tree. Careful not to go too close to the edge because of our Square One project. Our art can come off the edge, but our most important details need to be in the middle a bit. So I've got just one line, and that's way in the background. If you can use your imagination, that's where the sun would be, or a tree. And then I'm going to skip to the foreground up close, and maybe I'll draw a simple bush by making sort of a cloud line here. I like to go around my lines a second time to make them extra dark with my crayon. Now I need to make more lines going from the left side of the page to the right. But if I get to the bush, I need to skip. And the first line I'll make is a natural line that I might see in nature. I might make a wavy line. And a little further up the page, when I go up the page, I create the illusion of space, that things are farther away. This is very close, and the horizon line is way far away. So the next line further away, for me, I'm going to try and draw a perfect zigzag line. But if you don't want to draw a zigzag line, make your art different from mine. That's perfectly all right. I don't think I like it as well. This zigzag line is not as perfect as I had hoped, but I'll find a way to make it beautiful. The third line, or fourth one, 1, 2, 3, the fourth line in the distance, maybe this will be my loopy line, and I'll make it loop up and down, up, down. If If you've practiced form drawing, you may be able to draw a loopy line like I just drew. And then maybe I can fit in one more type of line. Far, far away. Near, far. Up here, close to my hill, I'll make a small line. Maybe I want to draw some farm in the background, so I'll just draw a simple building. I'll draw a triangle, not too big. Getting pretty close to the edge of my paper. And I'll draw the front of that building, and then just to show the side, I'll draw a little bit more of a building here. This line would be diagonal if that's the edge of the roof. There's a diagonal line for the barn. Maybe you'd like to draw a sun. Well, don't draw a corner sun. I don't like to see corner suns. Make a full circle sun if you're going to make a sun. These are the rays of the sun coming out. Once I have my crayon drawing completed, I can switch to the tempera paint. We'll need water, a paintbrush, a paper towel to clean my brush off, and of course, my tempera paints. It's important to hold the tray flat. For some reason, this time, my yellow paint is very watery. I'll begin at the top with yellow tempera paint. And for this project, please do not mix the colors. We'll just use the pure colors. That way they're nice and bright for anybody else who gets to use them. Wash the brush when I switch colors by dipping and wiping, dipping and wiping. And I can dry off my brush on the paper towel. I'm going to paint this sky. I'm not going to paint it blue. Everybody has blue skies. I think I'll have a purple sky. I'm the artist and it's up to me what color sky I have. I have definitely seen purple skies before. Gonna investigate. Time to take a break and let this painting dry. Here I am after my paint has dried, and I'm ready to add some patterns to this folk art inspired project. I've got some lines going across, and I really think the first thing is to darken up these lines. I'm going to use a black crayon to go over my lines one more time. After I used the tempera paint, some of these lines got covered up. So now these lines have been darkened up with the second layer of crayon. I'm ready to add some patterns using my construction paper crayons. These with the black paper on the outside are our construction paper crayons, and they show up brilliantly on top of the tempera paint. So I'm really digging the way these patterns will show up. So just repeating lines or repeating shapes will create a pattern, and in our folk art inspired designs, it could be anything you choose now. I'm going to choose one pattern for each space. So the yellow space will have one pattern, orange will have a different pattern, and by using a variety of colors and a variety of patterns, hopefully we will keep these areas separated by the distinct colors and patterns. I think that about does it for this work of art. This is my Square One art project, inspired by folk art and using my knowledge of lines and patterns, that is, shapes that repeat to create a pattern. I'm pretty happy with both the way I used purple on purple here, and sometimes I used a contrasting color like blue on orange. Up here, I changed my mind a little bit and extended some of these shapes above my horizon line because I was liking the idea of these looking like plants on the farm. So I extended them up like maybe corn growing. All right, now it's your turn. I hope you have fun.